No, that's wrong. Dixie Diamonds, 64. Dixie, Three Islands National Park, 3:28 p.m. Jerald, first to scamper through the doggy door, arrived yipping and yapping excitedly, but, insofar as Lizzie and Eddie were concerned, once again incomprehensibly. "Oh no!" a frustrated Eddie exclaimed as Cheeky, literally on Jerald's heels, likewise scurried in with Mama Pie, entering more cautiously. "Sorry, Jay, I can't understand a thing you're saying without Balloony's help. Hang on, let's see if we can get our Rosetta Stone erect and functioning." Rosetta Stone, a 2,000-plus-year-old rock discovered in 1799, inscribed with the same lengthy message presented in 3 separate ways. This repetition of the same message allowed scholars to be able to decipher ancient Egyptian because they could compare it to ancient Greek. Rosetta Stone is often used to express that the key to understanding something unknown is available. "Darling!" Lizzie shouted welcomingly as she rose from her seat, met Jerald halfway, and genuflected before him with arms wide open. Genuflection, verb, lower one's body briefly by bending one's knee to the ground. Though Jerald clearly said, "I'm so glad you're back," Lizzie only heard the unique barking, meowing sounds that came from his throat as she and Jerald romped a moment in gleeful reunion. Turning to Mama Pie, Lizzie dropped to both knees, straightened her back, brought her palms together in front of her, bowed her head to Molly Daddison, and said, "Mama Pie, it is an honor. We have what might be great news concerning Balloony, but let's see if we can't get Balloony to join us so Eddie and I can understand the 3 of you." Dropping her arms so her forearms were parallel to the floor in a loving but not demanding invitation for an embrace, as she smiled invitingly. Mama Pie approached, nodded, and placed her right front paw on Lizzie's left knee, saying, "It's truly a pleasure to meet you," though, of course, Lizzie heard only the barking noises of squirrel speech. Simultaneous to Lizzie greeting their 2 young friends and meeting their newest animal amiga in the flesh, Eddie was calling out to Balloony, "Balloony, I say Balloony, the Pies and Jerald are here, and we can't understand a word of their wisdom. Are you available to chat? We need an interpreter." "Right here, Ed," Balloony responded, his words to Eddie accompanied in real time by the transformation of the Pies and Jerald's barking, along with his mewing being instantly transformed into English to the Borden's ears. "Thanks, mate," Ed said to Balloony before turning to Mama Pie, genuflecting, extending his right hand in greeting and saying, "Miss Molly Daddison Pie, I presume," accompanied by a welcoming smile. "Edward Borden," Mama Pie replied, her voice filled with a smile. "An absolute pleasure to meet you and your wonderful wife. Jerald always has such wonderful things to say about you," as she dabbed her paw on Ed's hand. "Speaking of wonderful," Lizzie asked, "or at least potentially wonderful, we have an email from Rosiette, and Ed and I were about to open it and see what it says. Shall we?" she concluded, her brow furrowed deeply and her intonation rising sharply. "Wonderful, absolutely wonderful," Balloony replied. "But first, let me see if Karen is available. She should be in on this, whatever this is."